each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon. Oh man, my head's going whoa whoomp, whoa whoomp, whoa whoomp. All right. See, I still have to share on Facebook, but it's only going to a few places, so I shouldn't take that. Oh, I got to let one other person know. Why is that always offline? Wait. Oh, that'd be why. Okay. Yeah, a lot of moving parts, a lot of things I want to tell to a lot of people. Just, and I got some more hard work to kind of do after this. That's okay. So, what I like is that people are now, I'm being seen for what I am. And I do what I talk about here and what I do outside is kind of come hang out with me for a day. I have to talk to different types of people. But I just had a great conversation with the detox, and wow, just I mean, God gave me everything I wanted. Everything I wanted. I didn't even have to ask for it. Just gave it to me. It's weird. Not weird, but he didn't give me one of. So this is kind of the way it's going to work in detox now. Number one, let's just go for the one that really matters. Instead of them referring places and doing all this now, what East Metro Detox is now going to do is if they are alcoholics, they're going to call the AA hotline. And now we have 12-step going. There we go. What central office should have been doing this whole time. That's good job. I'm doing that for me because I did that. All right. Leader, good to see you. Good to see you. They're also going to be putting in another detox. And by that time, we will have all the AA meetings set up and all this stuff, NA, all these different, right? All right. And it'll be automatic over there. Now I'm going to go to Denver Cares. And I'm going to be like, let me see your resource list. Okay, now you know all these people. Yeah, see, and I'll just do the same thing. Now I have everything that I need to do what we need to get done. Thank you, God. Yes. And my interview, I am not going to be on the radio. I'm not going to, but I did interview with Colorado Public Radio about something that they put out and I gave them the right direction on where to go. So, yeah. I was talking to him. I guess some people have been threatening him. I guess that's what happens when you take people's money and they're doing the wrong thing. They will threaten you. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I get threatened all the time, dude. All right. And, and it's scary. It can be scary. But let me tell you something. Threatening a news person is extremely illegal. That's like worse than just threatening somebody else. You don't do it to a news person. So see how God's just placing this stuff. Hi, Ingrid. We did it, Ingrid. We did it. She knows she's been listening to me for years, but we finally did it. I was talking to these people. I'm like, you realize we're dead last. They're like, where'd you get that information? I'm like, why do you not have this information? So I've been showing them, hey, you're missing things. You can't do what we do. You can't do. No. See, getting alcoholic sober takes depth and weight. And I'm going to tell you something. If you're getting paid, that's not depth and weight. They're going to see right through that. You need people like us. Well, since you can't get your peer support going because you only paid. I'm like, I'm not going to give you any peer support till you raise that to $25 an hour. Okay. I'm not $16.75 an hour. Suck my left toe. Yeah. Woo-hoo. Yeah. Just saying. So you must have read the article. Yeah, you caught it, huh? I let him know who was the guy that was in that article. He's an MMA fighter. He gets knocked in the head all the time. He has to really trust other people that he's doing the right thing. And some people led him down the wrong road. And they used him as a patsy. And if you think you're going to get away with that around me, you are dead wrong. Okay? All right. And yes, this very much goes along with this. That's what's cool about AA or about the program, not just AA, but any of these 5 programs that you can go to. There's 5, okay? There's AA, there's Celebrate Recovery, there's Smart Recovery, there's Wellbriety, and there's Dharma. Those are the only ones I would suggest. I would not suggest anything else. Anything else is just an add-on. Now, why do I say those 5? Because they're all broke. They're broke. That's why. That's our first indicator, all right? But you ever go into a meeting, like an AA meeting or whatever, and you hear exactly what you need to hear? Happens every time, doesn't it? That's because everything is connected. It's all connected. You're always going to hear what you need to hear when you go to a meeting. As long as the solution is being used, then yeah, and that's exactly. So, all right, let's do introductions. Let's get to the reading. This is actually one that Amber sends out in the group. And I was going to put it on screen, but then I can't see a lot of things and stuff or whatever. So if you are in any of the groups, you could probably follow along if you get that from Amber. But welcome to the Daily Trudge. I'm Dion, the one and fucking only, at least in Colorado. Ingrid. She met another Dion in another meeting, spelt the same way and stuff. He had over 10 years. What did you say? He was like, he was like me, but more like Eminem. I'm like, let's get him on the podcast, man. Let's get him on the podcast. All right. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. I'm again a little too excited. All right. So, but I've calmed down because it's progress, man. And these aren't just little steps. These are big, major fucking steps to get a county to change their to get Aurora Mental Health to change their mind to say, yes, we were wrong. Let's do it a different way. Thank you. Props to Aurora Mental Health and East Metro Detox for listening. Thank you. It's a big thing. And I'll tell you what the big thing is. It means that my grandchildren have a fucking chance in this world. Let's get to it. All right, December 10th. Kindness in giving creates love. Yeah. Thanks, Bren. Except the other one just raps it real fast. He's probably a much faster talker because he's Eminem. Eminem, he's what, 16, 17 years sober now? Yeah. You know who his sponsor is? Elton John. Thanks, Amber. I was wondering if anybody was going to say anything. The fact that I'm wearing a dress shirt. Usually I do. Yeah, the other one, that's my favorite. I'll show it off. Here, fuck it. Let's just change. I'm like the Mr. Rogers of recovery. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day for a neighbor. Won't you be mine? Could you be mine? This is my favorite Spider-Man shirt. Do you see it? Do you see it? Okay, let's get started. And I'm using Amber's. Well, not Amber didn't write it, but she was gonna. Yeah, don't. ask that. Don't ask that, because I'll tell you, I'll make you feel bad and say I'm going to a funeral. Don't ever ask somebody. I know it's one of the questions we ask, which is weird, you know. But oh no, you said it. I apologize. What I read and what went in my mind were two different things, Brent. I apologize. So never mind. See, I told you I'm going too fast, so we're gonna slow down here. Right? Okay. In our illness, we were takers. Now we've changed this around. Now we are now givers. We are now givers. Yeah, that's true, Brent. See, and that's what it was. It was an assumption. That's why I was saying I was wrong. Wow. That was a quick. That was a 10th step. See, it's okay. It's all right to be wrong. Yeah, even amongst your friends. Yeah, in fact, if you do something wrong with a friend and then you admit that you're right, you're probably going to get closer. Slow ride. Take it easy. Giving is a big part of recovery. Our word for it is service. It's actually just what I was talking to East Metro about. I said, you know, that the thing is it's great that you're hiring peer people, but they're not going to be able to do what 12 steppers can. And I even sat there for 5 minutes and showed him how I do a 12 step call. And he's like, I said, the thing is you can't talk about God. And when I worked there, that was my biggest frustration. I couldn't talk about God. See? So instead of having those peer support, I said, there are plenty of people out here aching for 12-step calls. And for us, it's service work, because if we can't give it away, we don't get to keep it. And he didn't know that. See? It is so important that we reach out to these professionals and help them understand what AA is. We talk about the multi-pathway quite often in the clinical area, and I'm like, AA is the multiple pathway. Okay? From it, you can go anywhere. How many people land in AA first only to find themselves going to a different type of meeting? Yeah, happens all the time, does it not? Even with other addictions. We are the grandfather of recovery, right? That would make the Oxford houses the great grandfather. So, all right. But we cannot keep this program. You cannot keep everything that you have unless you give it away. Okay? We are to stay, I don't want to say spiritually broke, maybe spiritually broke, but not bankrupt. Because if I'm full, then I got to give it away so I can empty it to get full again so I can get it away. Yes, Ingrid. God, Ingrid. You listen for me too long. You might be a drug and alcohol counselor now. You probably have more knowledge than recovery coaches. Just listen to me. You'll get more knowledge than recovery coaches get. Right? And they got to pay for it. At least I'll tell you for free. Right? That's the thing. Free. Free. Right? And we freely give it away. Why? Because that's how it was given to us. Fuck yeah. I love hearing that. I love it hearing people say, I'm going to do some service work. You might save somebody's life that day. You might. There's nothing, of course, I say this a lot, but there's nothing better in this program than going to a meeting, somebody coming up to you and saying, you probably don't remember me at all, but 2 years ago, you said this in a meeting, and because of it, I stayed, and I'm still here. You're going to fucking cry. So stick around and wait for the miracle to happen. Lucas and I are going to talk about that on Sunday. Sunday. He's like, are you available on Sunday? I'm like, as long as it's before 2:00, because I got the Bronco game. It's like, I understand. Right. So our program is based on care, respect, and service. I absolutely agree with this. You got it. You got it. Go get them, Amber. Go get them. You already read this anyway. So thanks for stopping in. I appreciate that you did that just to be supportive, and I appreciate that. I love you. Bye. Go get them sales. I want to help her get more sales just because, I wish I had a magic wand to just, and God kind of let me give wishes. Give me like 2 wishes a day. Hand pink waving happy shopping. You write the craziest stuff, Bran. Restream is not my amigo. I'm going to look for another IO, but I have 3 months free right now, and there's too much going on, and I'm not going to change. I'll put up with it for a little bit. So, but I love those. I wish I knew what they were. But yeah, our program is based on care, respect, and service. So care. I give a fuck about what happens to you. I care what happens to you. I may not always be able to go out of my way to show you that, but the people that come here and watch me on a regular basis, you do come into my mind. I do wonder about you during the day. I do think of you. Yes, I do. Because you come here and you're like, hey, this is going on. I'm like, God, are we getting that resolved for them? Before, I would have never thought of you unless you were out getting me alcohol. Then I'd be like, where are they? 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 You hear yet? You hear yet? You hear yet? All right. So care. I care about you. I care what happens. Respect. I always tell when there's a newcomer in a meeting, I try to bring up this. I have respect for anybody that walks through those doors. What is somebody saying when they walk through those doors and they're new? What do we think that they're saying? Without having to say anything, I need help. And there shouldn't be any more restriction between that to getting help, like you raising your hand because you're willing to be a sponsor. That is actually a, what will we call it? It stands in the way of recovery. So if we're waiting for people to ask us, that's not care. That's selfishness. Well, God will lead them. They got to ask for help. They just did. Okay? They did ask for help, and you sat on your ass. There's going to be something's going to happen to that, and it's not going to be good. Because you said, in the morning we pray, hey, God, we do that 3rd step prayer. Help me help one of your children. Then their children ask for help, and you do nothing. Right? So there's a guy, and he's in a flood, right? You've all heard this story. He's in a flood, right? And the flood's coming along, and a guy in a Jeep comes along, and he's like, God, can you save me from this flood? God will save me from this flood. And a guy in a Jeep comes across, he's like, hey, you need a ride? It's starting to flood. He's like, no, God's going to help. God's going to save me from this flood. Water starts getting a little bit higher, right? And he has to get up on his porch or whatever, and a boat comes along. And it says, hey, the water's rising. Do you need a ride? No. God's got me. You see where I'm going with this? Then they get up to the roof because, that's the only place left to go. And a helicopter comes along. Excuse me, sir. You're going to die if you don't get in the helicopter. No, thank you. God's going to save me. Well, he dies and he goes to heaven. Who's at the pearly gates? St. Francis? I don't remember. But whoever the dude is at the front is like, or he's talking to God or whatever. He's like, why didn't you save me? He's like, I sent you a Jeep and a boat and a helicopter, and you did nothing. That was the consequence. That'll be the same consequence. Okay? Our program tells us practice these principles in all of our affairs. No matter if it's getting to our meeting early to put on the coffee or going on a 12-step call, we are giving of ourselves. Yeah. Yes. Listen while the time. Listen while the time. All right. See? It was because you did the right thing. So God gave you the cell. Bam. That's right. Spiritual experiences in action. Right fucking here. Thank you, God. All right. So, yeah, but don't think that just because you went to the meeting early and put on a pot of coffee, that your service work is complete. Oh, I feel satisfied. I'm satisfied for that. Did you know I did the coffee? Did you know that? You can thank me for that. Yeah, that's not service work. Put on the coffee and then go be the greeter and run the meeting and do the big. And oh, you know what? I did my service work, so I don't have to speak in the meeting. You can only shoot yourself in the foot so many times before it's not there anymore. Okay? Okay? I haven't heard this in a while, but I'm watching it all over. You cannot get this program by osmosis. It will not work. All right. We give so that we know we can make a difference. We give so that we know how to love better. I agree with that. Absolutely. The healing power of recovery is love. Yep. It wasn't until I let the people in the program love me until I could learn how to love myself before I could do this. Am I just screaming too much? Because like pretty much everybody left. And just too, and yeah. Anyway. And what does it say? It's saying the healing power of recovery is love. It's healing. So what was love? Well, it was the drug I needed to even me out so that I could love myself enough to work on the program and become a better person so I could learn how to love appropriately and then give it back and then show other people. Okay? Don't just give a man a fish. Don't just teach a man how to fish. Give them a fish while you're teaching them how to fish. Yeah, Bren, you'll find that I complain about the counter all the time, and it's never correct. That's just never correct. It just confuses me. And I think my brain searches for, since I'm mad at Restream, it searches for bullshit to pick on, if that makes sense to people. That ever happened to you? You're pissed at somebody, so you're like focused on just every little fucking stupid thing that they do. Yeah, that's Restream for me. So I apologize for that, but thank you for letting me know. I do appreciate that. So, as we give love and kindness to others, we heal. Why? Because people grow by giving kindness and love to others. This is a great one. A great one. I like this one a lot. Anytime I get to talk about God or love, I'm all about it. Why is that? Because it wasn't until recently, and by recently I mean within the last 4 years, that I learned how to love appropriately. So it's exciting to me now. All right. You ever figure out something new and you tell everybody about it? Did you know that? Yeah, I knew that. Well, I'll just find somebody that doesn't know. Did you know? I was today old when I figured this out, right? Yeah. I did not. But you're right. But you're right, though. Because it's in the big book. I'm laughing because I'll give it a try. It's a people, place, or thing, is it not? Okay. Thank you, Amber. See, I love it. Even though because she was joking, but she was letting me know I needed to pray on it, right? See, we get to do that in AA. If you stay open-minded, then you'll be able to take things like that like they're supposed to. Rule 62, not taking me seriously, take the program seriously. Yeah. So thank you, Amber. Hey, what works best in my head? My forgetter. Yes, it does. Yeah, wanted to share after reading. I told my sponsor about you and me doing the 12 by 12 with your podcast series. She asked me, "What's he like?" Oh, thank you. And when you're ready, Bren, you just let me know. And if you want to tell your story on here, I don't know how much time you have, and I'm not going to ask that here either. So, but that's up to you. But I think when you are ready, I would love to have you on the podcast. And thank you for, yeah, yeah, I caught it. Yeah, yeah. I think people find my podcast is weird, and you got to have a little bit of patience because I go to different places, but I will cover every single fucking word. I don't do them the same. Here's the thing: I don't have to put in filters. I don't have to do all this other stuff or have fancy microphones or anything else because I don't charge a dime. I'm not supposed to. That 12 by 12 and doing that was actually my pleasure, and I'm thinking about doing the steps next. So I don't blame you. Yeah, I'd rather talk than type. Prayer for the day. Higher power, with your help, I'll be kind and loving giver. I'll look for the ways to share your kindness. Action for today. Today, I'll list 5 ways I can be of service to others. I'll put at least one of these ways into action today. I already did that. I mean, I don't know how much more service I can do. Oh, yeah. Yeah, just make sure none of your preschoolers are around when I'm on. Because we got to, when I do this, you got to be honest. I marked because it asks you each time, or even when you set up your page, is it explicit? And I have to mark yes because I swear a lot. I say a lot of things. Now there was something I said the other day, and I'm not going to repeat it. Okay, about Santa Claus. That's as close as I'll get. I will never ever say that live again. You want to know why? Because it's not true. It's not true because we all are, aren't we? Everybody is. If we want to be. That's service. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Not anymore. No. Oh, I won't do that. As soon as you said that and you're like, oh my God, I'm glad my hair, it was that reason. I'm like, I am not going to say that again. She is a female. So, all right. I know that I could sit here and yak and yak and yak, but I got to start putting my stuff together for my business because I want to get that done. Right. And I think everybody was okay with a solution oriented mentor. So I don't know if I'm going to make a page or what I'm going to do on that. So, but it isn't anything, it's not too complicated even to put together. So, all right. That's right. You do. Yeah. Anybody over the age of 18 knows Santa personally. Isn't that great? Yeah. But the other one, no. We're weird that way. I grew up that way. My parents swore around me and they said, no, you don't get to talk like that yet. My kids swear. I swear. But it's not over excessive. Well, maybe here. So when I was talking to the guy from CPR, I was swearing all over the place. I was even putting people down. I'm like, look at these fucking pictures. They're supposed to be professional now. What is even faded? At least try. He's a Navy CB in AA. Oh, yeah, I get it. Okay. Sailor talk. Got it. Took me a second. So, but yeah, that is one way that does help because I don't promote what I do. It relies on it. Love you. I'm going to be here 2 more minutes. Thank you. I do rely on people sharing my stuff or letting them know about me. At the same time, I can be controversial sometimes. Sometimes I will come on and stir the pot. So, I also understand if you want to keep me all to yourself. Yeah, probably didn't know what to do with his hands. Put him here. All right. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I'm gonna go work on that. I have no idea where I'm gonna start with it though. But the cool thing is my list that was 4 long. Look what I get to do. Look what I get to do. I get to cross that off, and I have a community meeting centers coming. I have 3 meetings with 3 different places that want to put AA in where they're at. Yeah, I ain't gonna stop. I will not stop. All right, thank you everybody for being here, Amber and Bren and Ingrid, and I think we have some other people. Yeah, Leisure was here earlier. So, all right, I love you. Peace out, and have a day.